How are we doing, folks? Welcome back to the Nightmare Cabin. We are doing an album review tonight, and we're talking about the new album from Mastodon, Hushed and Grim. This is a new masterpiece, I think, in Mastodon's. It's slowly but gradually growing. Actually, the Mastodon catalogue. That's something I want to talk to you about. Actually, as we go into it. A double album from the band. This is the newest album. This is the first full-length album of new material since 2017's Emperor of the Sand. Since then, we had an EP, which was a couple of offshoots, I think, from that, either cut-offs from that last album or just tracks that they had lying around, but it was In the Cold Dark Place. Let me take that out for you so it doesn't reflect. Cool artwork. And then last year, we had Medium Rarities, which I thought was a double disc actually, but no, it's not. It's just 16 tracks. But basically odds and sods. You got the White Walker on there, which if you were mad enough to spend a fortune on that picture disc that they put out. And yeah, just live tracks, instrumentals, basically all the odds and sods. A few live cuts as well on there. B-sides, whatnot. So you had these two to tie us over, and now we've got this, the first new full album since 2017. Time's flown because I didn't think it was that long really since the last album. Like I say, double album, 86 minutes in total. That's a total of 5 minutes longer than the Iron Maiden album, Senjutsu. If you look as well, look, if you see the artwork on that, you've got that on the inside. I don't know if this is a concept album. They don't do concept albums. Not every album is a concept album from Mastodon, but they do tend to dive into the whole concept thing occasionally. They did that with Crack the Sky and Emperor's Sand. I don't know if this is a continuation of that or if that's just a little Easter egg on the artwork, but you got Paul Romano does the awesome artwork as he has done since day one. He's also done a lot of good artwork for Hate Eternal, and well, yeah, you can look him up. The guy's CV speaks for itself, really. The Red Cold, a whole host of really good albums. And where to start, really? You've got. Is it 15 or 16 tracks in total? So what you don't have, what you normally get on a double album is like some 10-minute, 15-minute long epic. But no, this is all. I think the longest song in here is 8 minutes, and yeah, the average is 5 to 6 minutes. So all the songs are pretty. What is good with this is most double albums now just tend to be like these long, drawn-out things. But no, this is 2 albums. It's an album in 2 parts, and you don't really get. You get a whole collection of songs rather than just your 10-minute epics, which is what we kind of had on the last Maiden album. The second disc was like 4 songs or whatever it was. But, where does this sit in the catalogue, really? Because when I was thinking about it to myself earlier, I thought, I will be doing a Let's Talk About video. So I'll go into this with a bit more detail. It's occurred to me, really, I didn't really think about it, but Mastodon are one of the only bands, which I could probably count on one hand, where I've been on board since the first album and actually maintained an interest all the way through. I've always got their new album on the day it came out, and yeah, I've pretty much followed them since the first album. I mean, I think I've really got into them around the time Leviathan was out. But even then, I went and got Remission and then worked my way through. So, yeah, Leviathan was out technically at the time. Crystal Mountain. Is it Crystal Mountain? I know they did a song called Crystal Mountain, but I can't remember what the third album's called. But I've got to quickly look that up now. Sorry, folks. But, yeah, that was the first one that I got that was out on release day when I went and bought it. But, yeah, I started with Remission, worked my way through. Thinking of it, no, the first thing I saw of Mastodon was March of the Fire Ants on that Relapse DVD where they had that live show. But Blood Mountain, that was the album. So I was aware of them when Remission was out, but I didn't jump on board until Leviathan was out. I saw them at the Download Festival. It was on the second stage. They only did like a 40-minute set, but seeing them that day, I was won over. And I think it was that weekend when I went home. I went and got Remission in the HMV and then worked my way through. Anyway, right, so on those first 4 albums, it all kind of works up. And they sort of hit a peak with Crack the Sky. And then that was where they went full on, right, we're just going to go prog now. There was always elements of it. And from Remission onwards, there was always, they'd formed from, the ex-members of Today's the Day, a bunch of grindcore bands. And I know Troy was heavily influenced by Neurosis. Troy, sorry, not Trey. So there was always, that you had that kind of Relapse, Hydra Head, Bongzilla. You had that sort of heavy, sort of proggy heaviness in those first albums. So slightly in the extreme, but there was a bit more to them. It was evident from Dame Dot that there was a bit more to this band. They kind of came off in that sort of heavy sludge off the back of grindcore bands. Then that kind of developed with Leviathan and I can't remember what it's bloody called again now, Blood Mountain, and then it kind of just peaked on Crack the Sky, similar in the way that Metallica hit that kind of peak on And Justice for All. After Injustice for All, Metallica they would have to have gone in a more progressive way, but they decided to break it down on Black Album. Similar sort of thing with Mastodon. They went back to basics on The Hunter. That was just 12 straightforward songs where they applied what they had learnt so far into a more basic song format. And then started the development again with Once More Around the Sun. Now, I would said that would have hit their peak. They developed again and then hit a new peak with this. But the more I think of it, I think they hit that peak again, the second peak, on Emperor of the Sand. And this marks a new era. So if we start again, going back to basics with The Hunter, more development on Once Around the Sun, hitting another creative peak with this. They then put these two out to get everything out of their system. So that's a cleansing period, so to speak. And then here we are, marking this being the beginning of a new era. And it's hard to say. Mastodon, predictably unpredictable, and a surprise. The fact they're doing things now that only they can get away with, and they're doing a mixture of different sounds and elements into the sound that, again, only they can get away with because they've earned the right to do so. They've got this thing now where Mastodon are just Mastodon, and they're going to do Mastodon, what they think Mastodon is, not what you think it is, and they will develop and throw curveballs in and just do stuff to please themselves. And I think they've got a pretty good fan base, actually. They've not got one of these fan bases that just wants Mastodon. They're not at odds with a fan base where the fans expect one thing and the band want to do another. I think Mastodon's fan base are quite happy to jump along and join in for the ride. So, yeah, that's where we are. So, yeah, I think this is a real stunning piece of work. And, yeah, I think it's time for a double album. Why not? So, yeah, first track, Pain with an Anchor, has a really cool it's sort of led by this catchy main melody, but kicks into this real choppy, heavy section halfway through. Really stands out. You got a cool sort of vocal back and forth between Brent and Bran on the crux. You've got a Sickle and Peace. That's it. It's got a cool sort of proggy vibe to it. Kicks in again with that choppy. The songs kind of start off kind of weird and mad the way you expect from Mastodon, kind of catchy in an off-kiltery way. But then all the songs on this all have a good thing where they just throw in a heavy as fuck bit like halfway through with a real sort of real sort of groove ridden, just heavy as fuck bit, which again they can get away with at this point. They've found that point now where they've got just commercially successful without diluting their sound, but they've also got to a point where they can mess around with stuff and make it proggy or make it too technical or make it just, they can fuck about with things but without making it off-putting to the casual listener, but can also, they've not diluted it enough to piss off your hardcore fan as well. They've got the prestige to play on something like Later with Jules Holland, but they've not alienated their core audience either. They've really found the balance on every level in terms of creativity and commercial success. And what was it? I read a review earlier. They found the perfect balance between primitive and intelligence, which I thought was quite a good little line. But yeah, where were we? Spectacle and Peace is a corn proggy, but kicks in again with that choppy intro. You got a big, beautiful sort of climatic part on More Than I Can Chew. Big soaring vocals on this as well. Brand Daler has really come along as a vocalist, and I would say he's just as good a vocalist as he is a drummer at this point, and he's a fucking fantastic drummer. Maybe that's not quite a fair comparison, but he's really come along as a vocalist now. Like, he could, if it came to it, maybe in another band, or if for whatever reason he couldn't drum anymore, I don't know, I think he could just become a front man at this point. And yeah, he's really developed in that department. And I mean, when you think of it, Troy was like the main vocalist at the beginning, and now it's like he's hardly the vocalist at all. I mean, he sort of went back into the front seat on the last album, but this one's pretty balanced actually. Everyone chips in. Skeleton of Splendor kind of got this hypnotic woo backing vocals, which is pretty cool. Got a bit of a country twang at the beginning. Completely goes off on one as well later on, which is pretty cool. Which is what you can't. Tear Drinker. Yeah, you kind of expect that from Mastodon, but yeah, Tear Drinker. Awesome chorus. I mean, this is probably going to be a single. Really, really good song. Really cool hook. There's songs on this as well that I think could easily be played on the radio, but they're not going to piss people off either. Again, we've got that nice little balance. Kind of like the way Rush did, in a way. Rush could always get radio play without sort of sacrificing any cool points. You know what I mean? But Pushing the Tides, great song as well. Starts off with a sort of industrial sort of beat at the beginning. There's like an industrial little part, which then kicks into this real rocking intro, and there's this good like back and forth between Brent and Bran again on vocals, and then it leads into this big soaring chorus towards the end. Yeah, I mean, these 8 tracks alone would have been happy with, but we've got another 43 minutes of songs, and yeah, it don't let up really. You got Peace and Tranquility, another great track, and then you got Dagger, which has a sort of tribal beat which goes into a groove with different percussions going on. That was pretty cool, pretty experimental, but cool. Had it always sort of as a mellow introduction with like a boom boom boom, ding, ding. You know, there's like a cool little clean bit. You may, sorry to say it, but like it kind of brings to mind like maybe the beginning of like a U2 song or something like that. Not to, I mean it in a complimentary way, but then that goes into like a nice mammoth but sort of slow part, like a real, not real slow, but it has this fucking amazing solo over the top of it. And the Gobblers of Dregs has this big sort of climatic part as well, where everything comes together. Big calls, awesome drums. I mean, Brand's drums on this are phenomenal, as always. I mean, Brand Daler on a bad day drumming, you know, many young drummer can hope to live up to. You've got a wonderful chorus as well on the Eyes of Serpents. It's Eyes of Serpents, isn't it? So yeah, Eyes of Serpents, and big massive solo, and it's followed by a big climatic jam section on that as well, and Gigantum also a big massive song to finish the album with. I'll be honest, I mean, it's a Sunday when I'm recording this. This turned up in the post on a Friday. I'm still digesting this, to be honest. This is more of a first reaction rather than a full in-depth review. But I try not to rush these things out. But when everyone else is putting them out, you that's the way the world is at the moment. If it's not out straight away, you might as well not put anything out at all. But yeah, I'm really happy with this. I wasn't expecting much, to be honest. I thought Mastodon had kind of done all they were gonna do, and I was happy with Mastodon just sort of being Mastodon, and how wrong I was, and how pleasantly surprised I was. I was thinking, oh, new Mastodon album. I pre-ordered it because I knew it was coming out. Didn't hear any previous didn't hear any advanced tracks. Didn't see any videos. I'll tell you what, I forgot it was coming out. It just turned up on Amazon, and I thought, oh shit, I forgot about this. And didn't even know it was a double album. This has all caught me by surprise. Stuck it on, and it's like, fuck. And you're constantly on that first listen, you know, you're just like, oh, fucking hell. Put that one back on later. And then it was, oh, keep a note of that one. I'll put that one back on later. And then, fucking hell, that's a good. And I was just constantly doing it all the way through. And then I've listened to it a few times. I listened to it twice today. And yeah, it's coming along. Every listen, it's revealing something new. The artwork's really cool. The lyrics, I've not really had a look into it. I don't know, again, if this is another concept album, I'm not sure. But they normally don't follow it up with it. Normally when they do a concept album, they, you know, go back to basics on the next release. But yeah, a new peak. I hope this marks a new era for Mastodon. Again, a band that have managed to surprise me again and again. And like I say, one of the few bands where I was there from album number one, and I've followed them all the way along. There's other bands that I've done that with, but I've kind of pitted off and lost interest. But these guys have always kept me engaged, and I'm really happy with this. I mean, this has totally caught me off guard. And yeah, this is... I will do a Let's Talk About video for Mastodon, and I will go through the catalogue, so I'll by then I'll hopefully be able to go into a bit more depth with this, and I'll probably go into a bit more depth. This is going to be in my top 10 when I do my top 10 albums at the end of the year. Fucking hell, if I hear 10 albums between now and then that are better than this, then yeah, this is going to be a fucking good winter. So yeah, definitely, this is well worth your time. Mastodon, ladies and gentlemen, definitely check this out. If you've been into Mastodon and maybe you've kind of, you know, petered off on the last couple of albums, now's the time to jump back on. This is fucking essential. So, yeah. Interview with 1914 coming up. Really excited for that. And as per usual, we've got normal album reviews. I've got part 2 of Let's Talk About Black Sabbath I'm working on as well. So there'll be more stuff coming in the next couple of days. Sorry about that notification. That was poxy. But we're at the end anyway. Don't matter. So, yeah. If this is your first video, welcome aboard. If you're a regular viewer, welcome back. Thank you as always, and as always, you know, help the channel out. Give us one of them. Hit the old subscribe. Leave a comment. Tell me, you know, where you agree and where you disagree. It all helps. It all gets the old cogs turning on the YouTube algorithm. So thank you all, everyone. I'll see you all soon. Take care. Cheers.